So electric or mechanical backup systems must be available if the primary system fails. All right. Okay, tillered, that's where you have a driver in the back. That's called a tiller truck. If you look at this, this is LA City Fire, LA County Fire. They have a complement of wood ladders. We do not. But it's a tractor tractor trailer, essentially, tractor trailer apparatus. It's larger than a single chassis. Operator rides in a position at the rear of the vehicle called the tiller position. And they basically have a steering wheel in this little cab here, and you're following that apparatus and steering to go where you want the apparatus to go. So it's more maneuverable on narrow streets and then more maneuverable in heavy traffic. Aerial ladder platform apparatus, they're similar to the aerial ladder, except there's a platform or a bucket mounted at the tip of the ladder. These are built on a single chassis. We have one of those in our city, and then 3 tiller trucks. They have a 3-axle system, the single chassis, and then the platform may be mounted at the rear or midpoint of the apparatus. Ours traditionally was at the front of the apparatus, so it kind of leaned over the cab where the driver and the captain sit. The working height is going to be measured from the ground to the top surface of the highest platform handrail, with the device at the maximum extension and elevation. And then these are generally 85 to 110 feet in height. NFPA 1901 and aerial ladder platforms. 1901 requires platforms to be constructed of metal, usually a steel or aluminum alloy. All platforms should have at least one permanently mounted master stream appliance. Your other trucks don't necessarily have that. A backup control system and 2 control stations are located on the platform and on the turntable. The turntable is the part behind the cab on the bed of the ladder truck, and on the platform would be the bucket at the top, so you can control from both locations. Water spray nozzles under the platform may be activated to protect firefighters exposed to high heat conditions during operations and also defensive operations. Aerial platforms and breathing air cylinders. You could have breathing air cylinders, piping, and electric or hydraulic connections. So you could have like a pre-plumbed supply. So you basically could connect your SCBA to that air supply. On some aerials, hoses are long enough to allow firefighters to leave the platform and work nearby while connected to the apparatus breathing system. So when you have a connected airline, so your SCBA is not going to be connected to anything. You have the bottle on your back and your performance is limited by the amount of air and work time you have in that. If you have one where you have a supplied airline or you're connected to air via hose, your working length is only as far as you can travel and work efficiently. A telescoping aerial platform apparatus. The primary difference between aerial and telescoping ladder is the configuration. For the telescoping, it features a narrower ladder attached to a telescoping boom designed for use during firefighter evacuation. Consists of 2 or more sections of box beam or tubular truss beam construction. All right. So basically, your platforms, your traditional aerials, they don't bend. So it's just it's straight. So you're gonna have a straight line at whatever angle they put it, versus telescoping you can bend, or articulating you can bend. Right, 2 or more boom sections connected by a hinge. The hinge acts like an elbow, allowing the boom sections to articulate or move or bend. Right. Construction is similar to telescoping platform. They may have breathing air systems and electric power connections available within the platform to facilitate operations. Water tower, so you can see here how these will bend. All right, your traditional trucks aren't going to have that. Apparatus are outfitted with hydraulically operated water tower designed to deploy elevated master stream appliance. The driver operator controls the tower from the control panel that's on the ground level, and it's basically designed for deployment from a few degrees below horizontal to about 90 degrees above the ground. and those will range from 35 to 130 feet, and they can deliver a volume or a gallon per minute of water of 1,000 to 5,000 GPMs. A quint is going to be essentially a combination of a pumper and a truck, where it's going to have water and it's going to have ground ladders. It's going to have a larger complement of ground ladders. You'll see those. I think City of Anaheim still uses several quints, or at one time they used quints. The fire pump within a minimum rated pump capacity of 1,000 gallons. Or 1,000 GPMs, sorry, gallons per minute. The pump capacity meaning the how much they can flow. The water tank capacity of 300 gallons, and then the aerial device with a permanently installed waterway. And you have a hose storage area with both supply and attack hose, and then you have a complement of ground ladder. So it's kind of a mix between an engine and a truck. As you move to different locations, you have different types of rescue apparatus. We call our ambulances rescues. Rescue companies in different parts of the United States and even different parts of California. These are going to be more like your technical rescue or your urban search and rescue. That's what this vehicle is here. And it has personnel. Obviously, there's positions for personnel on these apparatus, but in these compartments, you're going to have your specialized tools to perform technical rescues at technical rescue incidents. All right. So a lot of specialized equipment on those. Your authority having jurisdiction is going to determine the personnel and staffing requirements. And then there's different ratings. So we're all rated through the state, light, medium, and heavy, and it is the capabilities of rescues that you can perform, right? What's the capability of your rescue vehicle, and what level of rescue can they perform based on the equipment that they have. A light rescue vehicle has basic hand tools, electric and hydraulic rescue tools, and then EMS supplies. These are constructed on a 1 ton or 1.5 ton chassis with multiple compartments and a utility style body. So these are going to be used for smaller incidents to stabilize a scene, and then you'll have additional support vehicles arrive. We don't have these light rescue vehicles because we have truck companies spread throughout our city, and then we have a technical rescue or USAR component that will come in for more advanced type rescue situations, like more advanced auto extrications, vehicles into buildings, so shoring up buildings, stabilizing, lifting, bending, breaching, collapse, trench, those kind of things. Medium rescue vehicle carries tools and equipment similar to the light vehicles, as well as firefighting and specialized rescue equipment, such as hydraulic rescue tools, airlift bags, power saws, cutting equipment like acetylene torches, and then ropes and rigging equipment. A heavy rescue vehicle is a large apparatus outfitted with equipment capable of mitigating most entrapment emergencies. So this is what ours is more of a heavy. So lifting, breaching, cutting. Our basic, like if you have your subcategories, you have confined space, trench, high angle rescue, collapse, and then other forms of search. So some of the heavy rescue equipment, A-frames or gin poles. An A-frame is essentially like it's in the shape of an A, and what it does is you can use that A-frame to set up an anchor point so that you can lower somebody in down below grade. Cascade breathing system, that's where you have like direct line air, generators, air compressors, rope and rigging equipment, large lighting equipment. Our trucks have a lot of lighting equipment on them too, especially for incidents that happen at night. Lighting is very important. Trenching and shoring equipment, small pumps, winches, hydraulic booms, and then ground ladders. Okay, this is our fire service ambulance. Like I said, we refer to ours as rescues. So we don't want to confuse our rescues with the rescues that we talk about in the book here. But our ambulance, this is going to provide our emergency medical care, transporting sick or injured people. And these are all classified by their weight, all right, their gross vehicular weight and how they're constructed. ARF units, or aircraft rescue and firefighting apparatus. So these are all specifically designed to fight aircraft fires. These are going to provide the bulk of the extinguishment capabilities. They're going to be located on the airfield. They're going to be dedicated to the airfield, and they're all governed by the FAA in their response times, how they respond, and then how they do their attacks and what kind of training they do. So the mass application of extinguishing agents may be required to protect occupants of the burning aircraft. So they're going to be deployed. Usually they're going to be pre-deployed to any aircraft incidents. So the tower will call in to the station, and our department, the tower, will call in. So before the dispatch even comes in, our ARF units are on their way. So they know when a plane is in trouble, because that's going to be radioed to the tower, which is going to be communicated to our personnel. They have ladders, they have extrication tools, medical equipment needed for rescue operations and emergency care. They are going to do the bulk of the firefighting on the exterior of the plane and the interior of the plane. And there you see an ARF vehicle that's deployed. That's a large crash unit. And so they're going to get deployed. They have a tank. They'll come in. They have a pre-plumbed nozzle on the front so that they can deploy, and they can start extinguishment. They only have a limited number of water supply. They don't take a hydrant, so they don't have a water supply, continuous water supply to them. So they've got to go back, refill, and then come back if they exhaust their tank and aren't able to extinguish the fire. So they have turrets, which are those things on the front, hand lines, ground sweeps, booms. These have pump and roll capacities, so they can deliver their streams while they're moving. Turrets are controlled from in the cab, so the nozzle here, or the turret, is controlled inside the cab. So you have one person that's driving, one person that's controlling. And these also have some extinguishing agents or foam that is suitable for aircraft firefighting. Must be able to traverse rough and uneven terrain, and the apparatus should include special chassis with power to all wheels, anti-lock brakes, central inflation deflation tire systems, and then driver enhanced vision systems, and then high mobility suspension systems. Our hazardous response vehicles are hazmat units, hazardous materials response vehicles. So they're designed basically for hazmat incidents. So you have to transport your personnel, all your tools and equipment, different types of incidents. The state of California has a standard set of tools and equipment that you need. A lot of these are non-sparking, and they're specifically designed for hazmat incidents, which include patching, plugging, duct tape, patch kits, monitors, special protective clothing, gas meters, radiological monitors, computers. But we can do what we call a technical reference sheet, so we can look up what the material is and determine how we're going to attack that incident. We have weather monitoring equipment. We use a software for that. Radio equipment. So we all have our portable radios, but we also use mics when we're in the different levels. So you have a fully encapsulated suit called a level A. You have a suit that where your bottle is on the outside and your face piece is on the outside, called a level B. So there's different levels. And then also these vehicles have equipment to decon, right? Because we're going into a hazardous material. When we come out of that incident, we need to decon. So what we have is we have a large RV that's equipped, and then we also have a supplemental vehicle that we'll take with us on our hazmat team. And again, all of our equipment, we are what are considered a type 1. We have a type 1 team, which the state of California, through the Office of Emergency Services, OES, will dictate what equipment you need. We also have a type 2 team as well. Okay, I'm going to stop this video here and then move on to the next as we move past the hazardous materials response units.